Meeting for July. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I know today was not an easy day for a lot of us. We have family issues. Next to you, we have a happy birthday there who was supposed to be in Mexico, but she canceled her trip. We have Commissioner Purcell, who's at home sick, and Tyler, who's caring for a family member who just went through surgery. So thank you, everybody. In calling this meeting to order, I would like you to join with me tonight with a land acknowledgement in recognition of and respect for Indigenous peoples as traditional stewards of the land we now call the city of San Diego. For millennia, the Kumeyaay people have been a part of this land. This land has nourished, healed, protected, and embraced them for many generations in a relationship of balance and harmony. As members of the San Diego community and inhabitants of Maatipai, Kumeyaay territory, we acknowledge this legacy. We promote this balance and harmony. We find inspiration from this land, the land of the Kumeyaay. I want to remind my fellow commissioners that you have emailed to you a copy of the agenda, meeting minutes, other background materials, and everything is also posted on our website. And now Commissioner roll call. Let's start with Vice Chair Tyler Duncan.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Detsky-Weil.
Here, question, do we have to read that script for the Brown Act remote appearance? for
Yes,
Just
we
Cause?
do. Yes, we do. After roll call, then we'll do that
Okay,
prior to.
Yeah,
the read.
we got it. We got it.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Did you say you're here?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
No.
Commissioner April Purcell.
I'm here.
Thank you. Commissioner M.H. Fields.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Danielle Walker.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Olympia Beltran.
Present.
Commissioner Jessica Diaz-Roman.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Sarah Brown.
Present.
Lovely. All right. And now, as an action item on our agenda this evening, may I have a motion and a second to approve minutes from our April meeting? Motion?
I motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Walker. A second?
Second, this is Faye Detsky-Weil.
Commissioner Detsky-Weil, thank you so much for the second. All those in favor to approve? First off, any discussion? Wait, do we go? No, all those in favor? And I have to do a roll call vote? All right.
Yes.
Commissioner Detsky-Weil,
Yes,
Commissioner Purcell,
Yes.
Vice Chair Tyler Duncan,
Yes.
Commissioner Fields,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Beltran,
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz-Roman,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, so any opposition? Any abstentions? All right, minutes are approved.
And Chair, we must go back down to the roll call and give the opportunity for those that are just cause to read their statement.
Okay,
And then the body has to vote on whether or not they approve
Yep.
or decline
yep.
just cause.
Okay, this is a new thing and it's a little maybe uncomfortable, but we will press on. Okay, so do you want to handle that, Executive Director?
Yes, we must have you read your statement for just cause. Instead of them voting on it individually, we will vote on it collectively. And so we'll start with Commissioner Faye Detsky-Weil.
I'm notifying the Human Relations Commission that I'll be attending the meeting today remotely due to just cause related to family caregiving needs. Pursuant to the Brown Act, I'm disclosing that there are no individuals 18 years or older present in the room with me. I will update this disclosure if it changes during the course of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dusty Wild. Commissioner Purcell.
Yes, I'm notifying the Human Relations Commission that I will be attending the meeting today remotely due to just cause related to COVID-19, contagious illness. Pursuant to the Brown Act, I'm disclosing that there are no individuals 18 years of age or older present in the room with me, and I will update this disclosure if it changes during the course of the meeting.
Thank you. Vice Chair Commissioner Duncan.
Good evening. This is Vice Chair Commissioner Tyler Duncan. I'm notifying the City of San Diego's Human Relations Commission that I will be attending this meeting remotely due to just cause related to family caregiving needs. Pursuant to the Brown Act, I am disclosing that there are no individuals 18 years of age or older present with me in the room. I will update this disclosure if it changes during the course of this meeting.
Thank you, Vice Chair Duncan. Having heard these commissioners for just cause, what do I hear? A motion to accept or decline their reasoning for just cause?
Can I get a motion to approve their request?
I move to approve.
Thank you. How about a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Diaz-Roman. All right, all those in favor? Roll call vote again?
Roll call
Do I
vote?
include the 3 that are requesting?
No, just the ones that are present.
Okay, great. Commissioner Fields? Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Commissioner Beltran?
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz-Roman?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Unanimous?
Having heard the motion, it carries unanimous, and your just cause is approved. Let it be known that each person can, in fact, have a just cause twice a year, and each time that you do, in fact, have a just cause, it must come before the body for approval.
Okay. All right, we did the minutes. We have commissioner reports. Well, on our last meeting, which we didn't actually execute, we moved commissioner
Excuse me,
reports.
Chair.
Yes.
You have motions to approve on item 4. Do you want to do those, or you want us to?
Item 4.
Item 4, motions. First motion is motion to approve outreach table at the upcoming Pride celebration.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I forgot about that. I thought that was later in this thing. Okay, item 4, motions to approve an outreach table at the upcoming Pride Celebration Parade. Actually, it's the festival on July 20th and 21st. The table will be shared with Trans Fronteras. And it's actually the tent will be shared with Trans Fronteras. We'll have our own table. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. Second,
I second.
Commissioner Purcell.
excuse me?
Commissioner Purcell, I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
We'll do discussion real quick and then we'll take the vote. The discussion is that Trans Fronteras had their office shot up in Hillcrest a few weeks ago. There were actually several shootings in Hillcrest and one in Old Town. We want to make sure that people feel safe. I work with Trans Fronteras on a regular basis, at least twice a week. And they were feeling very iffy about being out front and center at the parade and also at the festival. So I offered to share the booth with them and to lend support that way. We have a bunch of things to give away. We have a little flyer that talks about discrimination and equal protection, and how they can make a complaint through our website or other possible ways of doing it. And it also talks about San Diego United Against Hate and getting involved. We have Mardi Gras beads, we have keychains, we have bracelets, we have fans, we have tattoos, but a bunch of things that we'll do on a wheel to engage people and get them involved. So that's the discussion. Yeah. I'm calling everybody to get you guys scheduled to see if you have some available time. I have a couple of commitments already, which is great. So with that, anybody have any questions or discussion? Yes, Commissioner Fields.
Just on that note, the added context, is there anything having to do with potential security in light of that
Yeah.
in the context?
Yeah, so I've attended 2 security meetings and I hosted one at our fair at 44. There is so much security this year that it's unprecedented. They're actually putting up cameras and all kinds of things like that. But on top of that, the police force is out in numbers this year, and the FBI also. So. But good question, because we all want to remain safe and yeah. And in the past, I will say this also as discussion, the Pride Committee was not allowing of police to be involved in that event. This year, the police really stepped up to even change their shield thing that they wear on there to have a rainbow background to it. They've been making all these attempts at outreach to the community. So, yeah. That's Commissioner Brown.
Do you know where exactly the tent will be located?
Yes, it's in the Latino area of the Pride Festival, which is sort of like on the Fruit Loop.
Yep.
That's what they call it. Yeah.
And then also the time.
Commissioner Diaz-Roman. Yes, so it starts on the 20th at 11. The first shift is 11 to 1. That's covered. Second shift will go from 1 to 3. But when I call you, I'll have all those times. So it'll be all the day on Saturday and then all the day on Sunday. And Sunday is a family day, so things are a little bit more family oriented and not so raucous, I guess. Yeah.
Chair Thomas, do you have an address for the
Yes,
table? What street is going to be in between possibly?
Oh, yeah. There's actually only one entrance to the festival, so I will send all of that out when it's time, but it's between Laurel and Calmia.
Thank you.
Okay. So a vote on that?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Roll call?
Okay. Commissioner Detsky-Weil.
yes,
Sorry, I should have said Vice Chair Duncan first. I'm sorry. Didn't understand. Oh, thumbs up? Okay.
Thumbs up.
Commissioner Purcell.
Yes.
Wonderful. Commissioner Fields.
Yes.
Great. Commissioner Walker.
Yes.
Commissioner Beltran.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Diaz-Roman.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Okay, great. That passes. And great. We'll look forward to hanging out for a couple of hours together. Be fun. The second one is a motion to provide support for Trans History Month, which is a new thing that our previous commissioner or our past commissioner Kathy Molig is heading up. It is a proclamation and it happens during September, which is interesting because that is also our United Against Hate Month. That's how it was before when it was November. So I don't know if that was a calculated change or not, but that's great. So if I can get a motion to provide support for Trans History Month.
Motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. Second?
A second.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Walker. Any discussion on this?
When you say support, Chair, could you be a little bit more specific on what that support looks like from the HRC?
I believe the request came with no idea for what support could be, but I would imagine just like United Against Hate, there may be a press conference that we could join. There may be events that we could support by showing up. Basically.
Thank you.
Okay. Roll call vote. All those in favor, Vice Chair Duncan.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Detsky-Weil,
Yes.
Commissioner Purcell,
Yes.
Commissioner Fields,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Commissioner Beltran,
Yes.
Commissioner Diaz-Rahman,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Beautiful. Once again, unanimous. All right, commissioner reports. So we moved this up because we figured that by keeping it at the end of the meeting, people have to leave early. You don't get to hear everybody's stuff that's going on. And we really want to prioritize your input at this meeting. So please take time to share what is going on in your communities and districts and events that you have attended or will attend, planning on attending. Anyone? Okay. All right. So in the future, I encourage everybody to,
You had
oh
Commissioner
yes,
Beltran.
Commissioner Beltran. Or are you looking for the button? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm a little slow today. This weekend in District 8, I'll be attending the Peace and Dignity Spiritual Run. This Peace and Dignity Journeys initiated in the 1990s as an effort from Indigenous communities to show solidarity and support with one another. It's a run that is initiated in Alaska. Initially, there were runners that started in Alaska and Chile and met in Mexico City. I'm not sure if that's happening this year, but I know that there are some runners in South America that will be meeting in Mexico City. Runners initiated in Alaska and are now passing through like the Bakersfield area. They'll be making their way here into San Diego, in the San Diego region, by Friday. There'll be a tributary of runners coming up from San Isidro into Chicano Park. I'm going to be offering medic first aid support to the runners on Sunday. There'll be prayer and ceremony and welcoming at Chicano Park on Sunday afternoon. On Monday and Tuesday, the runners will be headed out towards Hamul Indian Village and Campo and La Posta, and then moving east. There'll be some runners that head down into Mexico and some that move towards Coatán and Cocopah territories. But basically, it's a prayer for our environments, for our tribes. Most indigenous communities believe that the people themselves can't be extricated from the land. The health of the land is reflective of the health of Indigenous people and vice versa. So, taking a hard look at our environmental state, nothing is well on this planet. Not the people and not any of its living creatures are very well. So this is a prayer for all living things, for leadership in every community to have the support and the resources and the tools necessary to make sustainable change for the betterment of all of us. So all of these communities are praying in our own languages, are showing support and love and solidarity for that purpose. So that's what's happening this weekend in District 8.
And could you give us the name of the event again, please?
It's called the Peace and Dignity Journeys, and there'll be one of those tributaries. It will be arriving to Chicano Park on Sunday. So the runners will leave San Isidro around 8 or 9 a.m. Sunday morning and be arriving into Chicano Park about 4 or 5 p.m.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fields?
I think it's August 22nd. Myself and Councilperson Kent Lee will be attending the Mira Mesa football and cheer pep rally. Just an opportunity for the community to come together. Mira Mesa is a melting pot, and I think what Vice Chair Duncan is doing with the San Diego United Against Hate, the ultimate goal is racism, sexism, all of the isms don't stand up well to contact. This provides an opportunity for the whole entire community to get together in my district in an effort to contact with one another, with the support of trying to show love to these little kids, these boys and girls in football and cheer. So myself and I've asked Kent Lee, who's agreed to come to support that district. Yeah.
Great. Will you forward us the information on it? You can send it to Gerald Brown and he'll make sure that we all get it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Walker.
Yes, Commissioner, I'm not sure if this is a bit of a shameless plug, but at the Mental Bar, we always have things going on, and I always have a little stack, and I apologize, I did not bring a stack of flyers for this meeting. But this weekend, we are doing a Shop the Black, which is where we have 10 to 15 vendors to support small business that come into the cafe. They are outside. We have a DJ, and this is our way of just, again, promoting small businesses. This is called Shop the Black, which is Shop the Black SD, which is the Arts and Cultures District. So if you have a chance, come out. It is at the Mental Bar, Shop the Black SD, and it is from 11 to 3. Thank you.
Yeah, we're supporters of the Arts and Culture District and of course your establishment. So absolutely Shop the Black. Anybody else? Commissioner Brown?
Just flagging that we just in June, and I guess I'm a month late on this, but June 11th, we celebrated the Jewish holiday of Shavuot, which is one of the harvest holidays. And for most American diaspora Jews, this is also the dairy holiday when we have a lot of dairy products and celebrate the harvest. And so if you saw people out, especially in their synagogues, it's a night where people stay up all night often and read the book of Ruth. And so you might have seen celebrations and cheesecake selling out all over San Diego. Yeah.
I love it. Interesting.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Commissioner Diaz-Rahman.
Thank you, Chair Thomas. This weekend, I will be attending the Independence of Colombia with the community at Balboa Park. At the House of Colombia, every year, the community gathers to celebrate culture, bring community together, and also to support Colombians that are here living in San Diego and are far from family members and have made San Diego their home. So I'm really proud to be attending that for the first time
Love it.
this year. Thank you.
Great, and you'll be right there for, you'll be right there in the park, so you might want to. All right, fantastic. I love that. Anybody online have anything that you want to share? Oh, yes, Commissioner Detsky-Weil?
I just wanted to say that this past week, there was a Fire Safety Council meeting in the Del Mar Carmel Valley area because we had fire, about 2 weeks ago, was it? Actually, it was pretty close to my house and we had to evacuate for a few hours. So, tomorrow there's a Torrey Pines Community Planning Board meeting. And by the way, the planning boards now can all meet on Zoom because their advisory council meetings, they changed the rules for policy 600-24, allowing them all to meet on Zoom, which I found
Interesting.
very interesting because I don't see how they did that with the Brown Act, because they are subject to the Brown Act as we are.
Yes.
Because they're advisory council meetings, that's probably why. As opposed to a commission, different rules, I guess. And also, one of the big issues in this area has to do with the Los Angeles to San Diego double tracking, moving the rails off the bluffs. And that's a real hot button issue. So nothing as exciting as, human relations per se, but there's a lot of human relation discord because Solana Beach and Del Mar and City San Diego are probably fighting about what route those trains should take.
Yes.
I wish we had a town council, but we do not.
Okay. Last chance. Anybody? Listen, I really appreciate everybody's involvement in this. This was amazing. This is the most amount of participation we've had on this item. So we will keep it at item number 5 or 4 or 5, right up at the top. Item number 6. Executive Director Brown, would you like to talk to us about the agenda
Yes.
and
Finish out
non-agenda
number-
public comment?
If we can finish out number 5, the Harvey Milk Breakfast, and Commissioner Ricky Brown was supposed to report, but unfortunately or fortunately, they're working on Pride, and she was not able to be here. And so I anticipate that she will give her report next time around. Item 6, agenda, non-agenda public comment. We don't have anyone that has submitted a slip for that. However, I did receive a call today from a citizen that wanted to be here, but he thought the commission was meeting at 1 p.m. And I told him at 6 that we were meeting, but he wanted to thank the commission as well as the city of San Diego for its continued support of the unsheltered population and making sure that there's funds out there. This individual stated that he was, in fact, one of the folks that was unsheltered, and how working through the city, the housing commission, that he was able to both find shelter and also obtain employment. And so that may only be one that we've heard from, but we know that the city and the mayor is deeply out trying to make sure that we have adequate housing for all San Diegans.
Maybe we could invite him to one of the upcoming meetings and invite maybe the people from PATH or to share. We did this last year where we had them come and talk to us about some of the changes that the city was making in their approach. And they were not in favor of it, but we wanted to hear from them. So it'd be good to get like a year's update on it and have this guy's personal story. It would be great to meet him. Okay,
So rather than read all the way through that, we will go on, Chair, to item.
okay, you don't want to talk about it? Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
Uh,
I think it's a good idea to do that. Invite them.
okay,
We can,
we can what? Yeah, we can do it, yeah.
yes.
I thought you didn't want to talk about the non-agenda public comment.
Oh,
and
I didn't
public
want to
comment.
read it out because I know that we all know
Okay.
it. And so, since we don't have anyone here,
Okay.
wanted to go ahead and move forward.
All right, great. Item number 7 is what we thought was going to happen tonight, but it might be Providence that we can maybe have a little discussion amongst ourselves about this. We had invited Rabbi Meltzer. Is that right, Meltzer? I think I spelled it wrong on my sheet, but and we invited another person to come and speak about Jewish Muslim relations in San Diego and our interconnectedness, how we see each other, how we hear each other, how we recognize each other's pain, and yet how we thrive together and how we go to school together and all of this. And so that's where we want to start, and that's sort of like where we want to build this conversation out from at the core, and then to move out from there if there's a call for it from commissioners as well as from the community. But it's our role as commissioners to discuss this in a way that benefits San Diegans and our San Diego communities. And then whatever your personal belief and activism is, we support you in that also. That's your right as a citizen, as a person, as a member of the human community, as a being. So we're there to support you in that. One of the things that Gerald and I talked about today was our having to cancel the discussion because one of the people that we invited could not see past his own position, you see past his own position to speak openly and hear openly from other people. And he's had this problem now in several instances where he's been canceled and he doesn't understand why he's being canceled. But in this discussion that Gerald and I had, I said, it's a good thing to bring up tonight because we have to, I think, as servants of each other and servants of the public, we have to hear the community. We have to understand what's being said and then shift, alter, open ourselves maybe more to taking on some of this. I wish that we had these two speakers tonight. We'll revisit it again if everybody's interested in this discussion. If you think that the discussion should be expanded in some ways or that there should be certain elements to this discussion, I'd love to hear that and I'd love to incorporate it in what we're doing. Yeah, it's a big thing, and I real quick, I just want to say that I know it's a big thing, but if we don't do it, then we are sticking our heads in the sand, really, and not addressing it. And I think that if we limit what we're talking about to begin with and gain trust and buy-in on it, then I think that we'll come through it fine. Yes. Commissioner Brown.
Thank you. Thank you for that. very thoughtful and I think transparent description of how this came about and the complicate, it's complex. I'm a member of the Jewish community. I know its complexities deeply and personally. I just wanted to reiterate that I understand from Rabbi Meltzer that he would be happy to come in anytime.
Yes.
And so for him, the offer stands, and he was really eager to have these discussions, and he has been a really great partner in this work, building those bridges. And so just putting it out there that, and I think he also, to you, Executive Director Brown, I think he reiterated that he would be very happy to come in anytime we ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you.
And yes, he put it in writing for us. That this is a very important conversation. Everything that's going on in the world, he would make himself available for that.
May I ask who the other speaker was, please?
We kind of would like to keep names out of it, I think, maybe just because, I mean, what purpose does it serve? I mean, if you feel like it's something that you have to know, then we'll make sure, I mean, we can address it, but I just feel like maybe by keeping names out of it, it's maybe a little bit better.
If we aren't going to identify who is inappropriate to speak, can we talk about maybe some options of who we'd like to invite into this conversation?
Yes.
Given the delicate nature of the conversation and the very passionate investment of young people, sir?
Could you speak into the mic, please?
Sorry. I had said that given the delicate nature of the conversation, the topic of conversation, and the very passionate investment of folks, especially young people who are willing to risk their freedom, like literally willing to go to jail over this topic, I think it's important to hear voices of youth who are very passionate about this topic. So maybe some folks from Palestinian Youth Movement who I've heard some very eloquent speakers who are as good at listening as they are at speaking, which I think is an important virtue when having this conversation. I think there are a diversity of folks who are invested in having a peaceful conversation about this very delicate topic. And I think it would be beneficial to hear why folks from a diversity of backgrounds are invested in this particular topic. So maybe we could ask within our communities a diversity of folks who are invested in arriving at a peaceful resolution and building bridges across communities to attend an HRC meeting to move that conversation forward. What are all of your thoughts on that?
I like it. I like it. I can see us doing a youth group where we talk about that and maybe some other issues also, but bringing the youth together without maybe older, more, because I think a lot of times we hear in discussion, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about, and I don't want anybody to feel that way. So if it's all youth talking to each other, and then we boil that down to a good kernel, and then we come back, and invite that to the larger discussion, I think it's great, but I think a youth thing would be great.
You have Commissioner Purcell's.
Yeah, I was just going to support it as well. I love the idea. I mean, if I'm being really transparent, it makes me a little nervous to have kids there, but I love the idea of it. I think they're so powerful, and you eased me because I would hate for them to have the emotional control of an adult that adults don't often have in a situation if it got carried away. But I think there's nobody more powerful than kids for our future. So if we could facilitate that somehow, The other thing is, excuse me, I think we need to be sensitive that we don't outweigh one side over the other. If I'm assuming we're talking about bringing these people in at the same time.
Yeah, that's why we
Yeah.
decided to not have Rabbi Meltzer come in this evening also, so that there wasn't just one person discussing, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Faye?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to have youth come in from both sides to talk. And there's probably an organization where the youth meet on a regular basis where they discuss this kind of thing from all different sides, all different angles. And so, yeah, it's a great idea. I love to hear from the youth of today as well as everybody else. So.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah,
Commissioner Fields?
being an academic, I think I'm understanding what you're talking about as being college age and not
Yes.
children. So, what I've grown to learn on a college campus is you can't underestimate the mind of and the importance of dialogue amongst generations. So I would not necessarily dismiss the opportunity to get a representative from the group that she mentioned, and how we curb the passions from inflaming is we be the direction or the referee if something gets out of hand, and we have two representatives and the discussion is amongst the group. And I guess there's also a time to have more of a youth-based discussion from both sides. But if you're looking for the immediacy of fulfilling item 7, I would not put it past a student to be able to hold their own in courteous dialogue, just a discussion with probably a very respected rabbi if it's coming from Commissioner Brown. So.
Thank you. Commissioner Brown?
I appreciate all of this. I also think maybe we could invite Jewish youth to come in who are active and engaged on one of our 4 major campuses or from the community college network. I'm pretty well connected with them, and I think one of the things that we could do is be transparent about the intention and the expectations, and maybe establish some rules of the road about what this would be about, and bringing people together to engage in difficult dialogue, but that they have to come in already recognizing the humanity in the other. And I think that that immediately will set a tone and create a space for constructive dialogue. Difficult dialogue, it should be, it can be impassioned dialogue, but a dialogue that doesn't dehumanize one of the sides.
Thank
I
you.
actually want to take back calling it sides, because I think that's a forced false binary that we keep getting dropped into, and I
Yes,
keep getting
thank
dropped
you.
into that. So I want to also acknowledge it's not sides. I think it's coming in from a diversity of views.
Thank you. That was something that came up in conversation when we were scheduling these 2 speakers. Was I hated that we were using that word sides because it's very divisive, and I hate the binary. It's not useful in this discussion, I think. So, anyone else? Any other ideas when it comes to how we referee? I think that's a interesting topic. We have talked about bringing in a mediator, somebody who usually works with parties on coming together to discuss things. So,
Yeah, the only reason I even use the term referee is because it seemed like the central concern was something getting out of hand. There was nothing behind that. It's just an idea.
yes.
So we have about 3 or 4 professors on the commission. And the decision is so that we don't kick this can down the road any further. Chair you know, we have these committees, so which committee would you like to direct this to come on? Would you like to establish a new ad hoc committee in order to address this issue? So that we can in fact go forward and we can in fact have this conversation.
I would probably like to speak with XCOM to sort of figure out where people feel like it could land. I mean, it could be part of San Diego United Against Hate, but that commission might not want to take it on with San Diego United Against Hate being in September. There may be enough to do. We could create a ad hoc to figure it out. Yeah. Okay. If that's okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I think what I'll do is maybe I'll reach out to a few of you to see how it is that your vocation and interest can help further this thing, and then we can come back to what we need to get this going. Yeah. We won't spend too much time in subcommittee on this anyway. I think it needs to happen. Okay, thank you guys. Good conversation.
I have a
and-
question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw your hand, but I didn't know if that was from before. I'm sorry, Faye.
Um,
Commissioner Despinal.
does the city of San Diego still have a youth commission?
Yes, it does.
Okay, because we could invite them also to participate or, you know, to be present.
I like it.
Yes. That's doable. That's very doable. I will extend an invitation to the Youth Commission.
Well, let's wait, Gerald. Let's you and I talk, and then I'll talk with Commissioner Brown and Commissioner Fields and see what. No, just to talk, just to talk. Commissioner Beltran, and we'll see if there's something that we can do with the Youth Commission that could kind of, you know, maybe it's, yeah. Well, let's talk. We'll talk about that. Youth. Is it Youth Commission is what it's called?
Yes.
All right. Great.
I don't remember who's responsible for running the youth commission, but
Gerald knows.
The city
Yeah.
is, and also Director Chada Warren Darby. And I'm sure that I can meet together with, once it's decided, we can in fact have a conversation with their chairperson and a couple of the youth to kind of structure this thing so that they can in fact come in and have a voice. I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to work together and partner.
Okay, great. Item 8, standing committee, discrimination and equal protection. This is the only committee that is subcommittee that is an ongoing one and is the main purview of what, or main focus of what we do. Right now, people can access making a complaint or filing a complaint through our website, as well as, what are other ways they can do it, Gerald?
They can make a complaint through our website, as well as some have done, is made a complaint through our website, and also given me a call to let me know that they feel that they have been facing discrimination or have not been protected under the law.
Now, 211 is the county line. If somebody were to make a complaint there, would it be handed over to your?
You know, I don't have an answer to that question.
I'd be-
I have not interacted with 211. Even though I find 211 to be an excellent line for them, but we are also on the San Diego Police Department website as a resource, and I'm sure that we are on other websites as a resource for someone that's experiencing discrimination and they want mediation of some sort or another.
Okay, great. So in our subcommittee, we are working on the process and the procedures for how people lodge a complaint or file a complaint, and then also how we respond. We've come up with a few different ways. One is, a call back from Executive Director Joe Brown. He sort of feels them out for what's going on there. We're creating a living document that's a resource list that he can, if there's something that we can't do, he can offer the help of these resource connections. And it's also a way to pass somebody on to maybe getting some mental health help if that's what they need also. So there's different ways that that resource list could play into getting help for the person that's filing the complaint. Another thing we're talking about is training for commissioners and for lack of a better term, I don't like this at all, NDA for the commissioners, but basically a way that we immunize ourselves from being culpable, number one, but two, also that somebody might retaliate outside of the commission also if we put ourselves out there. So we're talking about how we do that. And the other part of that is how we handle information. We want to make sure that, we treat everybody with the utmost respect and anonymity in their filing a complaint. So we're working all of those things out, and we'll have more for you once we get a little further down the road, I think. But training for commissioners is very important, and Gerald's going to be looking into that and seeing how we could do it. So, yeah.
And if I can just take a second to thank Commissioner Dusty Wiles, the chair, the vice chair, and those that have been on. And I thank also Commissioner Walker as well that have been on, Commissioner Hills as well that have been on these committee meetings and making them really come and putting our best thoughts forward on how do we do this process. We have a process, but we want to refine that process and make sure that everyone is covered. And as the chair has mentioned, that we treat everyone with the utmost dignity and respect, even if we can't help them. We do in fact help them to move to someone else that may in fact be able to help. Most of the things are beyond our, when I say beyond, there's things that we can mediate if both parties agree, but legally we have no power to do anything. And we don't want to do any harm by delaying the process, or the legal processes are there. And so we want to be able to evaluate quickly and see if we can in fact help, and if we can't, help them to move to the people that can in fact help them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you to that committee.
Yep. Okay. Your executive director report, Gerald.
For the sake of not being redundant, I think that I've mentioned to everyone already as it relates to appointments and resignations. We were in, Commissioner Sarah Brown and I talked about appointments and the day and the fact that we do need, we're supposed to have 17 people assigned, and we have 5 seats that are vacant, to include that 5 a mayoral appointment and also different district appointments. And so from talking with Director Chada Warren Darby, she is in fact, She files for folks to come. We get the applications in, and she is processing these applications, but we can't move any faster than city council moves. And bringing forth from city council, instead of just doing one, we like to have a group that we're able to move all together. And then once we get them through council and council has appointed them, the next thing, of course, is ensuring that to keep me off of folks' backs is that they do get with the clerk of the court and get sworn in. They cannot attend a meeting until after they've been sworn in or vote or do anything like that. So again, these things are important. And if you know of anyone that you think that would be a good fit, please let me know. Please have them submit a application on the city's website. I get notifications. Director Chida Warren Darby gets notifications. She and her small staff, we do the following up of everyone that comes in. And so the more that you can help us, the better it will become.
I have two questions,
Sure.
before you go on to code of.
I have one answer. Go ahead.
First, question is, why do we wait to group them for city council? That makes no difference if it comes before city council as a one-off, and it may encourage other council members to move forward with their district's nomination.
I'm saying group because that's the way that I've seen move, okay? Is at a certain time during the year where you can put folks in, maybe around the May, June timeframe, that council is more likely to move. And so you have to deal with council's docket. And council is the one that controls when they are going to docket the individual coming through. So you may have an individual that wanted to come in March, and you're trying to push and move that person through the docket, but it's on council to make the ultimate decision. And usually with council, it's usually a group of people that have come in, and they will make a decision then on, okay, today we're gonna docket all of those that are gonna be appointed to boards and commissions.
So we have so that leads to my second question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Yes.
Commissioner
So
Diaz.
on that note, does that also apply to applicants who are mayoral appointees? Do they have to go through that same review process as this?
Mayoral appointments still have to come through and be, as I know, to be approved by council. And
Okay.
everyone goes through that cycle.
They do, yes.
So
Thank you for the clarification.
So that leads to my second question, which is one of our roles is to advise the mayor and the city council. So should we come up with a letter that then encourages them? Maybe if we could know who these nominees are, and maybe look into what their likes and dislikes are, where they stand, and then make a recommendation to move forward with. I mean, say there are 3 in District 9, and we don't have an Asian representative on our commission right now, and there's a Vietnamese person that's completely qualified as the other 2 are. Can we say, hey, we would love to see you move forward a nomination, and we would love to stand behind so-and-so on that?
I think, and I'm saying that I think that, again, that the commission has a great spot in advising the mayor and the city council on moving forward with appointments and just getting hot on that issue. And that would make all the difference in the world when the commission starts to say, we're going to put a letter behind this, and we want you to move quicker as it relates to appointments and reappointments. to the commission. And so that will be very helpful.
Would anybody like to start that letter idea process? Faye, Commissioner?
Is there a
Roma?
template to work off of for official communications? I don't mind adapting a template. I would be wary to draft new language, but
I will get you a template.
then I can help.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Great. Thank you so much. We can start it there, put it on the next agenda and move it forward.
Yes. And of course, the letter will have to be approved by the commission.
Yep.
And
That's where
move
we'll put it
forward.
on the next agenda.
The code of conduct, I'm sorry.
No, she said she doesn't want to act
I do
alone.
not want to act unilaterally, so
Yeah.
yes, please.
Moving forward on the code of conduct, I don't have an update for you, except for it still has not come out yet. And I know that we want to do a code of conduct for the commission. However, we've been asked to hold off until the larger code of conduct is going to come out for everyone in the office of board and commissions, as not only for boards and commissions, but it's going to be for the city of San Diego employees and how we conduct ourselves and conduct business.
Maybe it's too broad. Maybe that's why they can't get it done. I mean, we've been dealing with this for a little over a year and a half now, so I don't know. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Going on to
Yeah.
district meetings and visiting, visit ideals and council district office partnership. It goes in line with appointments and everything else. I was talking to a District 4 representative today. And District 4, as you may know, is southeastern San Diego. And they have every other week, thereby they go out to the district office and the council member goes out there and you can in fact get on the schedule. And we were talking about the Human Relations Commission going out and actually meeting with the council members that are there. And that may be something that the chair wants to do as we start talking about sending letters and doing all these things, is to make sure the Human Relations Commission is meeting with the council members from the district. I think that we can do that, up to a certain number of 3 people or so, 4, including me, that can in fact meet with your council member, to talk about, the Human Relations Commission and what are the plans going forward for community engagement. And also, like Commissioner Fields has done, is find that partnership opportunity for commissioners likewise in your district to be out with the council member and to elevate the place of the Human Relations Commission. And so that is, of course, a part of the guide to engagement, and our outreach committee should be working on that as well. Also in conversation, item number 2, city council focus. Going forward in our meetings, I will be bringing forth some of the issues from city council. One of the things, as the chair has said, and is written, that the job or the work of the Human Relations Commission is to advise the mayor and the city council. However, if we're not abreast of what those issues are, how do we know what to advise on? And then all of a sudden, every hot button issue becomes an issue that we're going to jump on. But it should be a continual thing of advisement. And as I was talking to the representative today, I said to them, I said, what are some of the hot button issues that the council is looking at right now? And what was said to me was that economic development and the placement of jobs, salaries, are very important to all the districts here in San Diego. Sometimes more to those districts where you have impoverished population. Affordable housing is an issue. Obtaining housing at a market rate is an issue. Equal and just treatment for all communities. The representative said that a young teenager or child should not be treated differently when interacting with law enforcement, the police department in La Jolla, different from the interaction that happens in the 8th or the 9th or the 4th district or in Mira Mesa. You shouldn't be treated differently. You should be equal and just treatment. He said, on the other words, how law enforcement treats our kids and teenagers in the community throughout San Diego must be consistent. And these were just some of the issues that are there. We know that housing is an issue, the unsheltered is an issue, but these are all issues that the Human Relations Commission can, in fact, advise the mayor and city council on. And then number 3, the issue of law enforcement in the community. Our chair, and I believe Commissioner Dusty Wiles has already had a meeting with law enforcement in their respective communities. Likewise, all the commissioners have that opportunity to invite law enforcement to sit down and have a conversation. You should, in fact, meet with the new chief, Chief Walls. I met with Chief Walls a week ago, Wednesday, and he is very open to meeting with the HRC, to sitting down and discussing the issues. In that meeting was Chief Walls, along with the deputy chief, along with one of the assistant chiefs and a captain, that we had this conversation. And he wants to hear from the Human Relations Commission. He is not closed off to hearing anyone, and you have the power to ask for him to come and meet with you either here or in person in his office. And so those are some of the things that I wanted to report out as a part of the executive director report. And we are continually refining the methods on how we do things and how we communicate. I need to apologize to everyone here because it was only yesterday that I learned that just cause meant that you could, in fact, be absent from the presence of here and be on the computer, because all of this time, initially I thought that just cause, still, we were told early on that you could not count as quorum and be on just cause. And so yesterday, I found out differently, and that's why we were able to make quorum today. And hopefully we will continue to be able to make quorum as well, Chair.
Thank you. I have one other item that should maybe be on council, city council focus, but a comment just before that, which is, I think that Shanila Rivera has a council policy representative, a person that looks over what everybody is doing, and maybe that person should be invited in once every 3 months or something to address the commission and talk to us about things that are human relations related and how we can help. One of the things, and I had mentioned this a few months ago when this happened, I was fearful that the flooding victims were going to end up without proper representation at the city level. And this week, or last week, I'm sorry, I got a call from a friend of mine, well, I had adopted this family basically, and they were flooding victims or victims of the flood, and they lived on K Street. And they had gotten a eviction notice because of the way the city council had structured what landlords had to do in order to continue to rent out their places. I called the mayor's office, and they had instructed that they had advised against that way of doing it because they knew all the city requirements that would be put back into place that would make these places uninhabitable until they were met. And so the mayor's office stepped in, and they were trying to work out and trying to get legal aid to get involved, basically. But I think that's one of the areas, like when something like that happens, I think our commission can spring forward and be a little bit more progressive about, engaging with people about and then making a recommendation from our standpoint on what things, they're going to do what they're going to do, but we can at least weigh in and say, if you think about it this way, or we like this thinking, but whatever. So just about that, we sort of missed the boat on it, but okay. Oh, and one other thing is the renaming of schools. Do you know anything about that, Commissioner Beltran? Because I know it's stalled. We had that conversation. Renaming of schools. We were part of that process, and then it was not.
I'm trying to think about how to explain this succinctly. It's really complicated, honestly. So the school names committee was challenged by citizens during the renaming of Clay Elementary. The parents and community members felt that the process for renaming the school was not transparent, that the school names committee at that time, which I'm not sure how between the renaming of Sarah High School and the renaming of Clay, the school names committee got restructured under Superintendent Jackson, but it did, and I was excluded from those meetings. I received some emails asking for certain information or points of contact to Kanakwahan for input from local tribal leadership, but like just some certain information like were there any villages in this area historically, or just like historical questions, but not necessarily inviting in tribal leadership to be a part of the conversation, which nothing irritates me more than excluding tribal leadership from the conversation itself. That really bothers me. It's one of my pet peeves. So I received some emails from different members of the school names committee asking for answers to those kinds of questions, but not necessarily an invitation to be a part of the process. And that was one of the criticisms of parents and other community members of that school community, was that meetings were being had that weren't transparent and weren't inclusive of the community themselves or other previous folks that had been part of the school names committee. So as I understand it from Cody Pedersen and some other folks who are a part of the restructuring of the school names committee, previous Commissioner Shana Hazen is also part of the restructuring of the school names committee. They are kind of disbanding that weird kind of interim group that was not really reporting back to community or inviting in community members to be present at meetings so that it was transparent. And then discuss, what I understand is that there's a discussion about kind of a workflow of what are the standards for deciding if a school needs a name change, like who initiates that process, how that process moves forward, to whom, how members of that committee are selected, and then what is the process afterward. So I think that's what's being developed at this time, so that moving forward, there's far more transparency, there's far more inclusion.
And who's at the table discussing that? Who's coming up with those?
The superintendents from the different districts, so the school board and the school board and superintendents are discussing that process first,
Okay,
which I think should be in place before anything else gets discussed. There are concerned citizens or concerned school parents and community members that have brought questions to Kanapquahan Coalition that have stated that their school name is, they feel that their school name is offensive to Indigenous communities, and they've given their reasons why. In my personal opinion, I agree. And Kanapquahan is discussing what transformative justice would look like for their Kumeyaay communities, and are preparing a statement for that school names committee once it gets formed. But as of right now, there's nobody really to present that to. So we're kind of just waiting for a resolution to be made by the school board and superintendents.
okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Is there anything that the commission can do to help move it along, or to add a voice, or state some recommendation?
I don't think so. I think that might complicate things.
Okay.
I feel like we should just wait for them to arrive at their workflow.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you. All right, item 10 is a subcommittee report. Vice Chair Duncan?
Yes. Hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much again for taking time for us all to connect today. I'm going to go ahead and provide some updates regarding our San Diego United Against Hate initiative. As a friendly reminder, San Diego United Against Hate is taking place September 21st through the 27th this year. So again, that is September 21st through the 27th. The program has moved up the nationwide initiative from the traditional November timeframe, and now is taking place again in that last week of September. We have submitted the proclamation to Mayor Todd Gloria for review and approval. We have gotten a soft support in regards to the mayor standing behind that proclamation, which was developed in the subcommittee. However, we still are pending a date for confirmation on the press conference where the mayor will publicly sign the proclamation in support of San Diego United Against Hate, essentially mirroring our efforts from 2022. So that's that point for the proclamation. In regards to community efforts, we have continued to reach out to community groups, hoping to receive their support for educational programming for the 21st through the 27th. We have received some responses. We have received some confirmation, and programming is beginning to be solidified. So very exciting to see this initiative and this week of programming continue to come to light. In the most recent subcommittee meeting, we identified some additional groups that we felt like we would like to reach out to, as far as like community organizations or demographics that we wanted to make sure we're captured, and are continuing our efforts and outreach there as well. Additionally, I did connect with the California versus United Against Hate, so some of the founders regarding the United Against Hate initiative, just to make sure that our logistics are set up. So we are now recognized as a city on the San Diego United Against Hate website, where you can download promotional material for the week, again, the 21st through the 27th. And additionally, we've reached out to the Arts and Culture Commission to see if there's potential for participation on a more dynamic flyer to represent some of the community groups, as well as the programming that's taking place specifically in our city. So those are the three major updates that I have regarding programming for San Diego United Against Hate and where we're at. I'll go ahead and hold for any questions that any of the commissioners have.
I have a question. This is Tootie. I had a question on arts and culture. Have they gotten back to you on a flyer?
They have not.
Possibility?
We reached, yeah, we reached out to their executive director, so we'll give it probably about till the end of this week before we do another gentle reminder.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Fields.
I don't want to look rude, but I have to duck out a little bit early. My mom's in the hospital, and I just want to make it before visiting hours close.
Sure. Yes, please. What? Yeah, but it's not because that's already, the proclamation has already gone through. Okay. Anybody else on San Diego United Against Hate? Today I did a spot for Pride on KPBS, and for their noonday edition, I think it's called noonday edition. Yeah, noonday edition with Jade Heineman. Jade Heineman, yeah.
Yes.
And I told her that we were involved in this and she'd like to have us back or have us there for a episode sometime in September also. So if you could put that on our August agenda, that would be great.
Great.
Okay. And community engagement.
Yes, so the Community Engagement Subcommittee is scheduled to meet tomorrow. We're still in the early stages of developing different forms and logistics regarding how recognition from community members or individuals within the commission will be submitted and reviewed. So we are still in the early stages of that, and we're scheduled to meet tomorrow for our monthly meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you all.
Thank you. Chair's report, I'll do this real quick. I went to a safety summit in Hillcrest after the shootings, and it was fantastic. Every police chief from every county or different part of San Diego was there. The FBI was there. The head of probation was there. The sheriff's department was there. Everybody was there. And you really felt how invested they were in making sure that people were safe. One of the notable things that happened was a guy started to talk and then was just overcome with emotion and fear, basically, because he had always felt so comfortable in Hillcrest walking hand in hand with his boyfriend and now felt like his husband, maybe wasn't that as safe as he thought he was. Immediately you could feel the police chiefs, just really like extend their complete support for him and, really wanting to, I'm reading into it a little bit, but you really got the feeling that they wanted to embrace him and let him know that, they were doing everything they could and to allay his fears. So that was a very good safety summit. I then hosted one at my community lot in the Fair at 44, and it was very well attended. We had over 50 people there. Commissioner Murray Ramirez as well as Commissioner Brown showed up for that, and it was very, very good. Once again, everybody felt really supported. One of the things that came out of the safety summit, or two things that came out of the safety summit, one was an SAR report, and that stands for Suspicious Activity Report. This is something that we also feel that may work when we're getting a discrimination and equal protection complaint, when the person seems maybe agitated, a little, to actually file one of those, so that could be one of the paths to getting that person some help, and making sure that the rest of the public is safe also. We are cautious about saying to somebody, well, this sounds like you need mental health or help, and then them not getting it, or they're getting more agitated because they don't feel like somebody is listening to them. So we have one path that would suggest some kind of mental health. But if that continues, then just to protect ourselves and the public, to file a SAR so that that person could have somebody reach out to them. And a suspicious activity report goes to every agency. And so everybody sees it, and that person will show up on the radar somewhere. There may be ties or intersections where their name has come up before, and that might help in some way also. And then the second one is, some people from the gay community had asked if law enforcement would be willing to show up to a meet and greet sort of thing, not in uniform and without their guns, so that they would feel a little bit more comfortable and less threatening. And they were very open to that idea. So I thought, well, is this an opportunity for the Human Relations Commission to maybe host something like that at one of the clubs? Or for me, an even better idea is, there's always volleyball in the park right off of 6th Avenue every Sunday, but maybe hosting a volleyball game there with those regular volleyball people that play, and police officers, and there could be a little bit more collegiate, interaction. So I'll start to, if you guys like that idea, I'll start to work on that, and we can put it on the agenda for August and vote on it and see if we can't get it done. Okay. I think that is it. Right? Are we done? Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn? You're fast at that. Commissioner Diaz-Roman. Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Dusky Wild. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Well,
Appreciate everybody.
see you soon.
See you
Please
next
take the
month.
donuts.
Thanks.
Donuts, yeah.
You think they'll stay good for another month?
You can put one on each finger.
We'll be getting back together before a month is out, so.
Yeah, okay. Take
Have a good
care.
night. Y'all
Thank you.
too.
Bye.